Fine. Let's pose that question to Kunal Shah, Senior Technical and Derivative Analyst at LKP Securities, because we've held on to those levels that our experts in the morning had suggested. Wonder if Kunal was working with the same. But Kunal, good afternoon. How would you describe this trade today? Bouncing off key support levels, or is this too soon to call?
Good afternoon, Neeraj. I think definitely I can say it's a very good bounce what we have got. Even in today's, for our client, we had mentioned that one day sell-off cannot be considered as a complete change of trend. Follow-up move is required for the entire trend to continue. But we can see a sharp recovery coming in. This is what we are expecting, 21,000 to hold on the downside, and for Bank Nifty, 47,000 to hold. And exactly that is what has played out. So still the undertone remains bullish. We have a positional long view on Nifty towards that 22,000 mark for the very near term. So we continue to remain bullish. Or whatever dips you get in either the Nifty or the Bank Nifty index, utilize them to buy. I think this was just a knee-jerk reaction what we had. We are clearly heading on the higher end, surpassing even 21,500 and going towards that mark of 22,000 on the upside.
Kunal, what leads this higher? Is it banks, is it oil and gas, or is it IT which has shown some spunk last week?
So I think there will be a mix, a combination of a lot of things.
Of course, but still, the favorite?
Yeah, but I think private and PSUs are something which are my top favorites. And that is where the real momentum will start to pick up. You are already seeing an HDFC Bank giving a fresh breakout on the technical charts. So I think that is going to be a major contributor for Bank Nifty hitting that 50,000 mark. ICICI Bank looks very good on the chart. So that is where again the momentum will start to pick up. PSUs, SBI, Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda. These are some of the large cap names which are also looking very good. So I think banking in itself, private and PSUs both will be doing well. And that is why I see the push coming in the Bank Nifty index.
Okay. And Kunal, just what are the top ideas for this afternoon?
So firstly, ICICI Bank, as we discussed, that is my first top idea from the private banking space. The stock has recently witnessed a correction, and now that correction is over in today's trading session. We are likely to see a good up move in the stock as well. So one can initiate long ICICI at current levels. I'm expecting short-term targets on the higher end of somewhere around 1,020 to 1,030 on an immediate basis. 985 should be acting as a support on the downside. And even if you talk a bit about positionally, even 1,070, 1,080 can be achieved. So ICICI Bank is something which is looking very good to me on the private banking space over here. The second stock, which I think where the fresh momentum will likely to build up, or in fact, even if I talk about a sector specific, I think a good momentum could be built up in FMCG space. So Hindustan Unilever is something which is looking very good on the chart perspective. Already defensive names were doing quite well in the last 1 to 2 days. And Hindustan Unilever can, from the current levels, easily see an upside of 50 to 100 points. So 2570, somewhere the stock is trading. One can initiate long positions, keeping a stop loss of 2520, looking for targets of 2630 to 2660 on the upside.
Hi Kunal, good afternoon. Tamanna here. I just wanted to get your take on a clutch of diagnostics which have been doing fairly decently. If you look at Metropolis, Dr. Lalpath, if you look at Vijaya, all of them have seen a robust uptick. Perhaps could be a couple of reasons. Could be this COVID tests might start again. You might see them increasing rates also next year. But more on the technical side or on the chart side, what do you make of a Metropolis? Any of these on your radar?
Yeah, I think if I look at the entire sector, I think there's still a broad consolidation, or you can say a base formation which is happening. So probably just the fresh momentum because of the COVID, what the stock have got, and that is why we are seeing an uptick. But one stock which I would like to particularly highlight over here is Metropolis. Now, Metropolis, if I look at on the technical charts, a rounding bottom has been already formed on the technical chart. The stock is on the verge of breakout. So 1800 has been a very strong resistance for the stock. We on the lower time frame, the base formation has happened. So I'm preempting this breakout to happen. So that is something which is looking very good. Currently trading at 1700. So probably more 100-point upside the breakout is. But one can definitely start to initiate long positions even at the current levels, looking for a good strong support which has been formed at 1660. For targets first 1800, which is the resistance of the breakout, and post that breakout we can see a sharp rally towards 2000. So I think for a next 2 to 3 months perspective, I think Metropolis could do very well.
I want you to hold on to that thought. We had a very interesting. I'm going to go across to Kunal first. Kunal Shah, on both these counters, IIFL, Piramal Enterprises, are you tracking them? And anything in the NBFC space that you think is a buy at this point as per the charts?
Yeah, I think if we look on the technical charts on the NBFC space, yes, we have witnessed some disruption over there. But I think IIFL Finance is something which is still looks very interesting for me. The stock is taking on the technical charts a support around its 100 EMA. So that's where we have found again support-based buying with volumes. So I think one could initiate again buy at the current levels. Because there are multiple times, if you look on the technical charts, 580 has been a very strong support for the stock. Whenever it has touched this level, we have seen a sharp recovery. And again, the same thing has happened in today's trading session as well. So 580 is something which one could hold on to downside for a support. And one can again look for a recovery towards 630, 640 levels on the upside.
Kunal, I want to come to you on, another couple of stocks that have seen great news flow, Cochin Shipyard and Mazgaon. Both of them on order deals. That was the news at least coming in from the Defense Ministry. They both bagged order deals. They've both been doing very well. Markets, by the way, are closest to its days highs. They're doing. It's been a fabulous recovery. So we'll come to you on that in a bit as well. But in this space, in the defense space, anything you like, Kunal? Views on Cochin Shipyard? Still value left over there. Same for Mazgaon.
Yeah, I think overall we look at the entire defense space. They have done extremely well. So I think there are only select a few names which are available where we can see further upside. So yes, as you mentioned, Cochin Shipyard is something which is still looking very good on the technical chart perspective as well. We are seeing on the technical charts a high low formation which is still intact here. So I think there could be a good upside of currently 10% from the current levels as well. So 1295 is where the currently stock is trading. The support what the stock has formed on the downside is at around 1200. So that would act as a demand zone for the stock again. I am expecting at least on the higher end 1400, 1500 kind of levels coming in the very short term.
Yeah.
I think Kunal was talking about the strength in the FMCG pack, if I'm not wrong. Those stocks have certainly held out. Even on the cash market, on the volume side, I think there is some strength in the likes of Britannia, in the likes of Marico. So I think that's one bucket. Even Dabur, for example, the stock may not have held out, but there is merit in the volume piece for these names. So that's one to watch out for. Kunal, the other pocket which is blowing hot, blowing cold, but off late, the gains or the number of days when it gains, media I'm talking about, the number of days when it gains are a lot more than the days on which the sector at large corrects. So Z is a case in point, yes, but there is Sun TV which has quietly moved on to life highs a few days ago. The Network 18, TV 18 twins have done reasonably okay in the recent past. NDTV, and the standard disclaimer was a part of NDTV profit. The NDTV profit is a part of NDTV. But this whole bucket of stocks on the broadcast side predominantly, but maybe even on the print side, is there anything that looks interesting?
Yeah, I think definitely we are going ahead for elections. So I think there is definitely a momentum which is likely to build up in the entire space as well. So that is where TV18 broadcast is something which is looking still very good on the technical chart perspective. So on the technical charts, it has seen a very big downtrend, and finally we have got a breakout from this downtrend. That means a clear-cut trend reversal is visible. 40 to 45 has been a very strong support zone for the stock, and we have seen multiple bounces in the last couple of months as well. So I think that this could play a very good role from the current levels as well, trading around the zones of 50 and 45 is something where the demand zone is. So probably I can see a rally towards the levels of at least 65, 70 on the upside in the very short term.
Okay, we'll watch out for that, but TV18 is his top idea.
View from Kunal. Kunal, I want your ideas, BTST ideas as well, and if you have any view on Tarsons. I just want to pull up Tarsons for a second. So this company that manufactures lab equipment has now acquired through its arm a German company in the same space. That stock has been doing phenomenally well. So two questions for you. Any view on Tarsons on the charts, and what's your BTST idea?
Yeah, I think firstly for Tarsons, if I talk about after being a big underperformer, clearly trading in a downtrend, Finally, we have seen good volume-based buying in today's trading session. Obviously, the stock is up by 13% here. So not at the current levels. If you get any dips toward the support zone of 530, that could be an ideal opportunity to initiate long positions. Now the support on the downside is placed at 500, which could act as a stop loss for the stock as well. I'm expecting this stock to at least head towards the levels of 580 to 600 in the very short term. So I think 530, wait for any dip for 1000. That is where one can initiate long positions. Coming to the BTST ideas, what we discussed on the show as well, I think PSUs as a space is still looking very good to me. What we spoke in the start. So PSU banks is something where my focus still lies on. So Canara Bank is something again which has given a sharp recovery from the lower levels. So one can initiate long positions in Canara Bank even from the current levels. We can expect a good recovery of at least 3 to 4% from the current levels.
Okay.
I'm just going to get one view from you, Kunal, before we let you go as well. But you are looking at a smart recovery, I would say, across the board on the markets today. After what was looking like a very choppy start, a quick recovery has come in and it has sustained. The Nifty is sustaining beautifully, quite beautifully over the 21,200 levels and looking like it's going to close up strong. You've had a good recovery in the broader indices as well, whether it's the small cap or even mid cap and micro cap indices. All of them have seen a good recovery. The mid caps are up nearly 2%. So you are edging towards the day's high at close. Kunal, just a quick view from you before we go into market close. Where do you think the momentum is on the Bank Nifty and the Nifty 50 from here on? Looking like we're going to close very comfortably over 21,200 right now.
Yes, I think the momentum still lies on the Nifty index as well. For me, Nifty is somewhere is going to close around these levels if I talk about today's expiry only. But going forward, I think the momentum is going to pick up in Nifty. As I mentioned, 21,500 is the immediate resistance. Once that is taken out, the road gets open for 22,000 on the upside. And similarly for Bank Nifty, as I talked about, private and PSUs both are something which on the technical chart looks very good. So even Bank Nifty is headed toward that golden figure of 50,000. So probably it's just a matter of time where we'll see Bank Nifty heading towards that level, and the participation will be there from both the PSUs as well as from the private space.
Okay, unequivocally bullish is Kunal. Kunal, great having you. Thanks for taking the time out and being with us today, and all the best with your calls.
Thank you so much.
Well, the pleasure was ours having you. Okay, before we slip into doing the final checks on the market,